We're here at Winston Churchill's house. What's it called? Chartwell.
Chartwell.
Chartwell House. Show them over there. And rotate.
Uh-oh. We got an injury.
You okay? Hi, I'm Felipe.
And I'm Lillian.
And this is the Postmodern family. Today we're going to talk about Winston Churchill and how Britons, I've been told now is the proper way, not Britisher, not Brits, but B-R-I-T-O-N-S. Britons.
Really? So what are Brits?
It's a shorthand that emerged, but the proper way to say is Britons.
Okay.
How Britons have received Winston Churchill from the time of his prime ministership all the way till today.
We want to thank our viewers for watching our channel. We are so grateful that we have people commenting on our videos, and we encourage you to subscribe to our channel for 3 new videos a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
As I said, this episode is about our trip to Chartwell House. There's an R in there that isn't sounded in British English, which confused me for a time, but we would say, or I would say, Chartwell House. It's the long-time house of residence for Winston Churchill, and our dear friends took us. It's a National Trust property. What it brings to mind, and what this episode is generally about, for me at least, is the changing opinion of the British people toward Winston Churchill. Mostly, Americans love Winston Churchill as a general rule.
If they even know of him.
I think most Americans would know Winston Churchill. Although they might think he fought in the Civil War or something, like the American Civil War or something like that, or he freed the slaves or something. Or gave the Emancipation Proclamation or wrote the Declaration. But, okay, Winston Churchill is beloved in the US. He's a larger-than-life figure over there. Thought of as a father almost to the UK, a second father or a third father, someone who saved the country with his fire, courage, and stubbornness. Okay, can you sing a little later? Don't sing right now, okay? Don't sing, I'm sorry, but don't sing right now. Right, so what interests me is the opinion that Britons have of Winston Churchill. Now, I've personally encountered a wide variety of those opinions, from he's a racist, misogynist, scoundrel, alcoholic, everything negative you can imagine. I've heard people say of him, and I've heard the more common is like, yeah, he was a good guy and he was the right person for the right time. So a sort of reluctant praise, but no Briton I met would say, yes, he was incredible, he was fantastic, he was dynamic, we needed him, and he's a model figure that I would want my son to follow. Astonishingly, he was only 5'7", and he wasn't a large man in his youth. But when you think of him, you think of a really tall, large guy, like really larger-than-life figure. That's the way I emotionally view him anyway.
I'm imagining the statue that I saw of him in Parliament.
Yes.
He looked short.
So the trip to the house was really great.
It was a beautiful day. The weather was perfect. And we also got really lucky finding really good parking spots very close to the entrance of the National Trust. When you first show your card and your membership, they also ask if you want to visit the house, and they give you little tickets for the house. Now what we didn't know is that on the ticket it tells you what time you're supposed to be touring the house. So we went straight to the house and they denied us access because our ticket said like 4 o'clock and we were there at 2:30. We figured we'll use that half hour and take a look around the gardens, and they were really beautiful. The flowers and the gardens, the way it's set up. And we also got to see some chickens and some vegetables, vegetables. Smell good?
Yes.
Those are roses.
What am I doing?
What's in your bag?
Oh.
Head up the steps. We're going to see the house now.
Babes.
We're gonna go see Winston Churchill's
But
house.
no cameras are allowed inside.
Yeah, so we'll just have to describe things to you.
Yes.
But anyway, do you like Winston Churchill?
I love Winston Churchill. He is like a founder of this great country, like a second father, almost.
Finally, we got to go into the house where you weren't allowed to take any photos or videos inside the house. So all we can do is talk about it, and what really struck me about what was inside the house is that it was a rather intimate setting. So the house itself looks large, it is large, but the way that they constructed it made the rooms were a bit smaller, and there was more turning, you know, corridors and things like that that connected them. I think there were 3 different levels, right? That we saw. What was really impressive to me were his robes and uniforms.
His bathrobes.
No, he had a like a parliamentary robe or whatever.
Okay.
That's a robe.
Okay.
And the awards that he's received, the plaques, the letters, the silverware. What do they call? And then the old photos. I liked seeing photos of him when he was young, and his family, his wife, and it was really encouraging to see how involved his wife was and how much he respected her and how they corresponded with each other all the time, even though he was away a lot.
They took separate holidays all the time. Something we should bring back, I think.
Because I had different interests. So she really was interested in seeing cultural places and museums and things. And he just wanted to go out and have a good time on the beach, somewhere nice and hot. So we just went to see the inside of Winston Churchill's home.
We did.
And it was really lovely, a very intimate setting.
Amazing.
Some nice tall open rooms and then some kind of low ceiling ones. But Felipe's favorite was looking through his library and to see what books he read. There's also a really cool thing, the standing lectern. That was cool. Felipe liked that. We put a lot of books on there.
Keep them open.
What I know about him is from The Crown and from Dunkirk. Like I don't really know much about Churchill. He seemed to believe that he knew what was best for the country, even when there were people in political leadership who were against him. And he just kind of kept going forward and saying, no, this is what we need, this is what's going to happen. And he bulldozed his way through it, and it was a great victory for us. But yeah, like Felipe says, now it seems like people, all they want to talk about are his negative characteristics. So those are my impressions. I just enjoyed taking photos and videos of the grounds outside. I wish I could have showed you the inside. What's your impression now of the house and etc.?
This is a major difference in how we experience things. I'm not so interested in the things I'm seeing per se, or the robes, the uniforms, learning how they lived in the house. I'm more overjoyed by walking in the spaces where the actual man walked. So the whole emotional experience of being closer to the man physically than I was before, because now I'm actually in his dwelling place. And so it brings me closer emotionally to him. And what resonates with me about him is that inexorable, unconquerable will that he had to impose what he viewed as right on the rest of the people around him. He was not going to be swayed by cowardice or by emotion or by weak feelings. He knew what was right, and he pursued it to the death, which was exhibited in his conduct in the First World War and coming out of the trenches some 35, 40 times, or if not more. Clearly, I'm a passionate admirer of Churchill, and being closer to him by walking through his house was a wonderful experience. And I will just read a little bit of an article that was published a couple years ago on the 50th anniversary of his passing. Think yourself into that smoke-filled room in May of 1940, that fateful meeting of the 7-strong war cabinet. France had fallen, Europe had been engulfed by the Nazis, the Russians had done a nauseating deal with Hitler, the Americans were standing on the sidelines. Britain was alone, and the pressure to do a deal was overwhelming. The city wanted it, much of the media wanted it, Halifax wanted it, Chamberlain wanted it, Labour would have gone along. It was Churchill, and Churchill alone, who was decisive in ensuring that Britain continued to fight. It was Churchill who was crucial to bringing America in, more than 2 years later. If Churchill had not been Prime Minister in 1940, there seems little doubt that Britain would have made an accommodation with evil, letting Hitler have his way and plunging Europe into darkness and barbarism. No one else round that table had the guts to do what he did, and it is to him, therefore, that the world owes thanks for the eventual victory over Nazism and the 70 years of peace that have followed. The more you study Churchill, the more I hope you will share my conviction that there has been no one remotely like him before or since. And that was written by, wow, Boris Johnson. I guess someone said Boris Johnson models himself after Winston Churchill. I can't quite see that, maybe in a superficial sense, but I can't see boldness, I can't see courage, and I can't see virtue. But I don't know Boris that well. So, all in all, the trip to the house was amazing, not because I could see with my eyes some fancy uniforms or feel coziness in a few drawing rooms, but because I could touch and walk through the things that he touched and he walked through. And it was brilliant. If you like what you've heard, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, which I think is up here. That's it for now. Bye!